Righto guys, welcome back to another episode. In this one, we are doing a full restoration of a 1992 Toyota Land Cruiser Troop Carrier with over 420,000 kilometers to it. If you've seen the introduction episode that Maddie and I did a few months ago, we are doing a full build now with my younger brother as he'll be getting this to do some traveling around Australia, so stay tuned. Don't forget guys, if you are enjoying the content, flick us a subscribe. We are creating videos every 2 weeks for you guys to watch. Plus, proudly supported by Adventure Kings for all our outdoor camping and four-wheel drive needs, available at Four Wheel Drive Supercentre. And Maddie and myself, Sam, have put together some discount codes for you from some of the biggest companies around Australia, including iTech World, Undercover Australia, using the discount code Always Touring, and even our own quality merch for you guys to wear when you are out touring. So first things first that we had to do, as everyone knows, is we bought this vehicle in Canberra and it had to be transferred over to New South Wales plates. And for that to happen, we had to do what's called a blue slip, which means that it needs to be run over the pits and has a really detailed looked after by a mechanic or someone that is certified by the RTA. So we had to get this thing road legal before we did any actual four-wheel drive and camping modifications to it. So as you can see here, we had to order some new tail lights off eBay. We're trying to spend as little money as possible because, as we know, Owen is on a budget. He's only just turned 18 and this is his first four-wheel drive.
Yep. Brakes? Are you doing the brakes?
Yeah.
However, after replacing one, we realised we had some problems with the wiring loom, so we had to back it up into the garage, take all the wires apart, replace the globes, and do some basic soldering to get it all working.
Okay. Put the brakes on. Alright, that was Def's heating up. Let's turn them on now. Are the brakes on?
Yeah.
Now, as we were sort of pulling apart the vehicle, we were noticing one big trend was there was a lot of rust beneath the surface, a lot more than what we thought.
We just fill in the holes where the tail lights go with silicone, so it stops any weather damage, I think.
And water ingress, so if we go through river crossings. And then we're replacing both tail lights as well with new ones that you got off eBay for how much?
It was 25 per one, so it was 50.
Nice.
Free shipping as well.
Now, just remember, this is on a budget and this is a DIY project between us, so not everything is completely done professional. But basically what we did is we put that Sikflex down, re-screwed it in as per normal, and then Owen, what he's done is actually went and got some silicone to sort of reinforce any water or dust ingress in behind it to prevent any more further rust or dust ingress that we're having problems with behind the actual tail lights themselves, just as a bit of future proofing. But it is quite a cheap method and it is an older car, so it doesn't need to be perfect.
When? Yep. 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 Reverse. Very good.
After being told by the mechanic that the next thing we had to do was remove the tinting because it was peeling, that was the next thing on our radar.
So as you can see, the side mirrors on the Troopy are actually held together by duct tape on the left side and are quite old and didn't pass for registration. I'll show you the other side as well. It's rusting there and it needs to be redone.
As you can see from a very superficial level, the amount of rust that we're uncovering as we're taking the little bits and bobs off just to get it past registration.
It like snapped it off. We actually had to end up just ripping the mirrors off of the car because they were so rusted that the screws were all stripped. I'll show you one here. And they just weren't coming out, so we actually had to just rip it off the car. So Samuel and I did some shopping on eBay and found these for quite cheap, 2 side mirrors. They came within a day or two and I thought it was too good to be true. Then when I opened both of them, I did quickly realise it was too good to be true.
A week later and a refund by the company on eBay, we had finally received the new mirrors. A quick WD-40 and screw in of the new mirrors basically made it look like brand new. It's pretty funny seeing how cheap these parts are, particularly because we know that the new 70 series out in the market all run the same bloody mirrors on them. Now, this is where the real trouble starts. After inspecting the rust, which we had a few points given to us by the mechanic that we had to fix, We located a significant amount of interior rust on the inside of the roof, which we knew was going to be a problem. And then we had to attack these very big holes that were in the bottom of the floor. With some help from our grandfather and a couple dodgy pot riveting efforts and some siliconing, we were given the bad news by the mechanic the following day. All right, so you might be wondering why we are sitting in a chair here all of a sudden 5 minutes into the episode. And after a couple of weeks, Owen was doing that stuff with my grandfather, patching up a few of the rust jobs. And he actually took it back to the mechanic to try and get a second opinion on the rust to go through the blue slip. And basically what happened was, that night after they had gone to the mechanic gave Owen some pretty bad news and basically put us in a situation where we had to stop the build and move on from there.
After picking it up from the mechanics, the guy told me that it was all rusted in the chassis, all the underbody, like everything had rust all through it, and it wasn't just normal rust, it was corrosive. And he said he's a big lover for fixing up old cars and like go for it, but he said this one was just beyond repair and there wasn't really any coming back from it.
Yeah, and if you're looking at sort of repairing those things, you're looking at probably 10 plus grand to fix all that sort of corrosion. Or if you're a DIY, like doing it yourself if you're good on the tools and things like that, which is really disappointing because in the engine bay and the whole drive line was like pretty much brand new replaced. Like engine was good to go, new alternator, radiator, like everything that I've told you in the previous video. So it's a little bit suckish, and he did say the reason why some of the big rust parts on the chassis was because there was sand that had been left on there for about 10 years and had corroded through everything. So we decided to make the decision, well, Owen decided to make the decision to sell it to some poor bloke that didn't know anything about the rust. Nah, just joking.
No, he did know, yeah, he knew about the rust. Told him about it. I put it on Marketplace, I think the day after I got it back from the mechanics. In the description said that it was all rusted, listed like all the holes that had been fixed and all the new tail lights. And I think within what?
Well, how many thousands of dollars did you shortcake yourself putting it on there for?
Yeah, well, I put it up for $5 grand. But
I want to know in the comments if you saw that vehicle after you've seen this 2 episodes, $5 grand, whether you think that's appropriate with the amount of rust that we found or not. I reckon it was too low.
I think if I put it up for higher, it would have been scamming anyone. Like, if it was getting pretty dangerous with the rust, and I didn't want to rip anyone off like really bad. But yeah, I put it up on Marketplace for $5 grand, and after 10 hours or so, would you say 12 hours?
Yeah.
There was probably about, what was it? I think I counted, it was like 180 or 220 messages.
Yeah, you put it on one of those Facebook Marketplace and groups as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I put it on the Canberra buy, swap and sell with like 200,000 members or something. Yeah, heaps of messages straight away. And yeah.
So we had someone come over, and how much did you end up selling it for?
$5 grand. What I put it up for, I sold it. He tried to haggle me down a fair bit. Tried to cut the price in half actually. And then he went up every $100, but there was a lot of people that were asking for it, so I didn't budge.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's the end of the Trooper build. Bit of a suckish thing because we're pretty keen to get into that. Owen's been doing a little bit of international travel between then selling the Troopy. Do you have any plans to get back into a four-wheel drive in the next couple of years, or?
Well, I think we struck gold with the Troopy because it came for free, and I'm at uni and I'm only working.
And we were prepared to put a little bit of money, probably like, $5K into it to get it back on road. But it was just that rust, once you get rust in those chassis, and as Owen said, it's corrosive, you're looking at 10 plus grand to restore that sort of stuff. So a bit outside the budget, but unfortunately it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about buying another one just yet because just got back from New Zealand and I've got Japan at the end of the year. Got uni throughout the year, so this year might just be a bit full on for it.
Yeah, so I noticed Troopies are huge in the market at the moment. Everyone's going out and buying them. I've noticed quite a few people are going and buying very old Troopies like this one, and just because they got new paint doesn't mean that there's not corrosive rust in areas that you can't see. Like, we looked at what we thought we could see, and there were obvious big holes in some of the roofing and the flooring, but we didn't know about the chassis. So just be really careful out there. If you're looking at buying a really old Troopy, go take it to a mechanic to have a good look over. Someone that can you pay $100, have a good look over, because last thing you want to do is whilst you're traveling around Australia is break something seriously and you can't repair it on the road.